Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to make Fanouropita. In our Orthodox church tradition, Saint Fanurios is celebrated on August 27th, and we make this Fanouropita, it's called, in his name, and it's supposed to help you find lost things. And the story goes that he had a very tough pagan mother who didn't treat the poor very well. And when he was persecuted and he was about to be killed, he asked the people to do this cake with olive oil and flour and give to the poor. And they can ask for whatever they wish and they will get it granted. Traditionally, we use 7 or 9 ingredients. 7 for the sacraments of the church, which are 7, and the creation of the world, and 9 for the choirs of the angels. Now, in this recipe, I'm using 9 ingredients. The flour and the leavening, it's 1 ingredient. The spices is 1 ingredient. So if we count, I have 3.5 cups of flour. Make sure to mix the flour so it's aerated and no lumps in it. I have 2 oranges with their zest and juice, or fresh orange juice. I have 2 cups of orange juice. Sugar, 1.3 cup of sugar. I have 1 heaping teaspoon of cinnamon, half teaspoon of cloves, healthy half, third of a teaspoon of freshly ground nutmeg. I have a mix of raisins and walnuts in here, 80 grams of each. You can put more if you wish more. I have some sesame seeds that I'm gonna use, I'll show you how. And 1 cup of olive oil. So I'm using 9 ingredients in my recipe. Let's begin. We don't need a mixer. What I'm gonna do is add the sugar into the olive oil. Of course, the sugar has the zest of the orange. I kept it on top because I wanted to show it to you, but I like it when I mix the sugar with the zest, and that flavors all the sugar as well, and it just makes things much more flavorful, I feel, at the end. So we will dump the sugar into the olive oil, and we will make sure that it's melted, kind of just mix until things are even and you feel that the sugar has absorbed the olive oil already. Now into this, I will add the liquid, which is the orange juice, but I will also add into the orange juice the baking soda. So now let me tell you why we use baking soda and baking powder. Baking soda is bicarbonate, sodium bicarbonate, and the baking powder is almost the same ingredient, but it has 2 acids instead. And this reacts to wet and heat, and this reacts to wet. So both are gonna help the Fanouropita to rise in a different stages. One in the beginning as it touches the wet ingredients, and the other while it's baking in the oven, and it slowly rises, and you will have the volume that you need out of using both. So baking soda, normally it gives a little bit funny flavor, and to avoid having that funny flavor, we add it into the orange juice or the acid that you're using, because this way it eliminates that aftertaste. I will also add a tablespoon of vinegar into that, and that will help also for better texture and better rise. I will mix that and see how it foams. And now this, we're gonna pour it into the olive oil and sugar. Mix really well. Okay, now it's time to put the baking powder into my flour. So I will add a teaspoon and a half of baking powder, and that is into my flour. Now I will add the flour slowly into the mixture. Now when we start adding the flour, we shouldn't mix too much because we don't want a tough bready texture. We want something that is light and very spongy kind of. Now halfway through, I will also add my spices. The texture of the dough, this mass is gonna be a little bit on the runny side because it has no eggs, but it's gonna cook beautifully. So as soon as all the flour is wet, that's all you need. Into that I will add the walnuts and the raisins. I will just blend them in, just like that. You should smell this. It's really smelling beautiful. The orange, the spices, it's just wonderful. Now I have prepared a pan. I just wiped it with olive oil. Into this, I will put a little bit of sesame seed at the bottom, about 2 tablespoons. Just make sure that it's all around, just like that. And we will pour this into the prepared pan. This is 11 by 11 inches. You can also use a Pyrex if you wish. And on top, I'm gonna sprinkle more sesame seeds. Just like that. And we will bake this in about 325 degrees Fahrenheit, around 170 degrees Celsius, and it's gonna take around 1 hour, a little less. It might take a little bit less. It depends on your oven. I have it on the convectional oven, so I'm assuming that it's gonna take less than an hour, about maybe 50 minutes or so, but it's preheated, and I'll show you when it's finished. So now that the Fanouropita has cooked, it cooked for 45 minutes in this aluminum dish. Normally aluminum cooks much faster than glass, let's say, if you're using that. And I let it cool because it's much better cool, and you shouldn't cut it while it's still warm. Let's see what we have here. So I'm gonna cut a piece. This is how it looks. So it's not dense. It seems to be very flaky. If I push it down, it's really nice, as you see. And I cannot wait to taste it. The aromas are so good. The orange with the cloves and the cinnamon, they are like a trio from heaven in a way. It's so delicious. You're gonna love it. Please try it. Taste it. Give 2 thumbs up. And join me in my channel, and please comment, ask, and I will make sure that I respond to everything that you have reached out to me for. Have a wonderful week and happy Fanouropita Day.